What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Technique Critiques. I'm Coach Brian from Big Ben Strength. Today, we're going to be taking a look at one of my lifters on our team, Chris. He's got 155-pound snatch. It's a recovery week, so it's a good time to focus on some technique. Let's go and see what we're working with here. All right, so it's definitely moving pretty smooth. Let's see. Let's take a look at. Let's start with start position. All right, so his hips are just slightly above his knees. But that does put his shoulders in front of the bar a little bit. So that's a good setup position. Let's see. There we go. Oh my goodness. All right. And then he drops his hips and he lifts them back up. So it's a form of a dynamic start that he's doing there. I don't dislike it. I will say that he should keep it. However, one thing that you can see is the rate of which his hips ascend versus the whole bar and his torso moving is a little too fast, meaning his hips are shooting up and he's not pushing through the ground as effectively as he could. Right. So a good way to visualize or to think about the snatch and the clean is that the first pull is really a squat or a low bar squat or a push. Right? Imagine pushing through the ground and maintaining your torso position. So oftentimes, if you think about pulling, you're going to have your hips shoot up in the middle of your pull. All right. Let's see the next part of this. He's keeping his feet real flat, which is fantastic. You can see now that the kind of the pressure on his foot is drifting a little bit towards his toes too much. Now, what I'm seeing here is it looks like he's shrugging early and almost pulling with his arms early. And now, granted, it's light, so it's not making too much of a difference here. Yeah. Okay. Chris, I'd be interested to know how long your arms are because it looks like your grip is way too wide. Let's watch that in full speed. There's just something about that turnover that looks unstable, which is tricky. It's always trickier to critique lighter lifts as opposed to those heavier ones because things start to break down a little bit more. But you can start to see some of the things that may be showing up later. So I would I would be willing to bet that you probably need to bring your grip in a little bit. One reason is you have a history of being a little bit shaky and a little bit unstable overhead on the snatch. Um, and not so much in the elbows, but more so in the shoulder and going too far back sometimes. If you want to increase your stability in the bottom of the snatch, bring your grip in a little bit. I'd say maybe try it for a couple reps to see how it feels. It's probably not going to feel great right off the bat, but as your mobility starts to get a little bit better, you're going to start to feel real strong in the bottom of that catch position. So that would be my first recommendation. Other than that, honestly, I'd like to see a little bit better connection. I hate when people say honestly. Why do I say that? Um, just always be honest. Uh, I'd like to see a little bit better connection of leg drive into translating that into pulling under. It looks like you're starting to pull under a little early and you're not getting the most out of your leg drive that you could. But yeah, so those are the two big things there. I would try pulling your grip in a little bit. If you're like pinkies on the outside, like pinkies on the collar, I would maybe just go like pointer finger or middle finger on the outside ring and see where that puts you and see how that works for you. Um, and then the rest of it is just feeling the waiting until the last second to really start to use your arms to pull under, but pushing through the legs and finishing the pull with the legs first before you start that pull under. Those are the two big things to work on here. Other than that, looks pretty solid. Yeah, I would just bring that grip in. You'll be golden. That's it for this technique critique, you guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe over on the YouTube channel. And then if you want technique critiques like this for your lifts, make sure you're subscribing to our Patreon, which is linked down in the description below. Different rates for different tiers based on the amount of technique critiques that you want per month, as well as early access to apparel drops and discounted apparel. So we'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks. Bye.